It's extremely rewarding to complete a journal from cover to cover. It's a glimpse into your heart and your soul. So please enjoy the following video of my completed personal journal. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Thrifty Day. On today's episode, I am going to be doing a flip through of my complete journal. As you can tell, this journal is so thick. It is much more thick. I'm actually going to take off that charm. It's much more thick than I anticipated it would be when I started it. I think I was just very excited to be starting a new journal. That tends to happen. I get really excited. And I made this spine huge and I added so many pages to it, as you can tell. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it because it's going to be quite long. I keep all my journals bound with a knotless bow, and it's just an old piece of fabric. You can find a knotless bow tutorial, the way I tie mine, here on YouTube. So this is my journal. I made the cover. I made the charm. It's just a lot of really sweet personal items on there that I really love. And this cover, I'm gonna try to move this. This cover is actually really special to me. I talk about it in the flip through that I made before I filled it up. So if you wanted to hear that backstory, go ahead and take a look at that YouTube episode. I will link it in the description box below, and that'll tell you all about why this cover is so important to me and why I chose to use it. So I've been working in this journal for about 5 or 6 months. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and open up and get started because it is very thick. This is the first page just talking about the month I started the journal and when I ended the journal. This was a page I originally sewed into the book, and since I love the illustrations, I didn't really do anything to it. And this is a page out of a journal that I made, and I just loved it because I really felt like the vibe was so neat, the colors were great, and I loved the image. So after I made the journal, I saved that page and just stuck it down onto a page in my own personal journal. This page is just a little bit of an extension of a day that we spent with our good friend Diego. He is a puppeteer at the Baker Marionette Theater, and we went shopping on York Street, and Big Bud Press and a whole bunch of really neat independent shops are there. So I just saved my receipts and I stuck them in there and I journaled about it a little bit. And this is another vintage book page, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's actually tons of writing all over it. So I probably wouldn't use that in a journal that I would create for sale. So rather than get rid of it though, because the image is so pretty, I just sewed it into my own personal journal. These paper dolls I had in my Etsy shop. They sold out. I will bring them back, but I was really excited when I first got them, so I wanted to stick down all of them in my journal. This is just a vintage handkerchief image, and so I had them all. I thought they were all so pretty, so I journaled about them a little bit. This was actually something I received in some mail, something that I bought online. And so those are just some fabric dolls, and the good news is I actually have a whole new set of paper dolls that will be coming to my shop very soon. This is more of those paper dolls, and the reason I used this picture of Lizzie and my girls is that was from Dapper Day at Disneyland, and we all kind of bound it as Dumbo. Let me show you how cute that picture is. Look at that. But this paper doll dress actually reminded me so much of Lizzie's, so it was important to put them together. And I journaled about it. Oh, I didn't realize that. I journaled a little bit about it under there, and I loved the rainbow, so that was a fun little page. This was the first June, journal prompt June that I did over on Instagram. This was the first one that I did, and so it was just a little way of scrapbooking onto an old book page. And this just says, one of a kind, she is brave, she is lucky. That picture makes me look, reminds me so much of Lizzie, so those little words were for her. These are more of those paper dolls, and I just think they're so cute, the little suit and the little pinstripes. This page was, I think, just kind of odds and ends. I'm not sure if I have a tutorial on here in a layout, or it actually could be over on TikTok. So just some vintage book pages. This was from a journal I created. It says the Walt Disney Parade. And someone had sent me this in some happy mail, so thank you so much. It was so beautiful that I just wanted to put it down there. And then this was some of Hannah's work. She does work and she cuts it out and saves it. So I kind of took one of those so that I could remember her cute work. And then I made this tag. You can find these tags in my Etsy shop if you wanted to upcycle one and use it for your journal. Let's see here. I don't remember if I have a layout for this. I get confused if I post them. Sometimes I post on TikTok and sometimes I post on YouTube. So many times you can find layout inspiration on both. But I have a whole layout inspiration playlist here on YouTube if you just wanted to put that on loop for some inspiration. But this is some vintage book pages. And this says Love Leads the Way. It was a movie on the Disney Channel and that fell out of a book. Or actually, I think I removed that from a cover of a journal that I made. And rather than get rid of it, I stuck it in my own journal. And I just love that image. And this was from some happy mail that I was so grateful to receive. I do have lots of vintage playing cards. I do still have these ones even in my Etsy shop. So if you were interested in some vintage playing cards, you can head over to my shop to find them. This page was just a really simple page I threw together. Abby went to a really neat cross-country camp. And that was just some of her itinerary and whatnot. So I journaled a little bit about it and put it in my own personal journal. This was just a lot of odds and ends. It was a lot of things floating around my desk that I'd had for a long time. So I decided to stick them all into my journal, do a little bit of journaling. This was the washi tape. So I made a tag out of it. It was actually the little package that the washi tape came in. So I just made a tab. This was another journal prompt June. It was for June 5th, and I just made a pocket, and I put pictures of my friends. This one came out of an old frame, and a lot of the picture came off of it, but I didn't want to throw it away. These are some of my very best friends, so rather than doing that, I just decided to put it in my own journal. That's my that's my grandma, my kid's great-grandma, and my very best friend, my sister, and me. So inside that pocket, I journaled a little bit about friendship, I think. And so I just stapled that onto the page and did some stamping. This was a little bit about Abby and talking about her running. I'm just so proud of her. And I saw this little image that I had from some ephemera, and it was a little elf or something, nymph, running away from that bumblebee. So I thought that was funny. And this sticker is by Eliza Ryan Design. And this was after an especially good track meet or cross-country meet that Abby had, and she wanted mac and cheese. She said, I need mac and cheese, I'm craving it. So I saved that from the box just because I was so proud of her. This whole page is just cards. I had so many that I'm like, you know what, I'm saving them. I need to just use them. So I just stuck them all down with some washi tape. So that way, if I ever need to remember where I purchased things like pins or books or whatever else I purchased, I know where to look. Both of these were Journal Prompt June layouts. This one was about song lyrics, so I just wrote one of my favorite song lyrics and did some stamping on an old vintage music note sheet. And then this one was about goals, and so I just kind of picked a bunch of different areas of my life that I had goals in, and I made a page out of them. This was when I got a bunch of bingo sheets. You can find these in my Etsy shop. I loved the colors so much that I stuck a whole bunch of them down on this page. They just made me so happy. I was so excited when they came. And this is just some journaling and a little vintage book page. This layout, I know I have a playlist for. It is all about our experience when we went to go see Baker Marionettes perform. This is a vintage book page. Like I said, my good friend Diego is actually a puppeteer at Baker here in LA. That is Diego and Abby. And we all he is family, and so it's so excited to support him. We are also going to their Halloween show very soon, so stay tuned. I'm so excited. So this is just a lot of ephemera from the theater that we got to experience. I picked this up on their website. I believe it is still there, so I will link Baker down below if you wanted to purchase some. They have lots of really neat ephemera you can purchase. There's Diego and our family at the show and some journaling. This postcard was sent in my order that I purchased from Bob Baker. So they actually send a lot of really neat stuff with your order too that you can use in your journal. So pro tip, purchase from Bob Baker because you actually get a lot of extra little stuff too. These are pictures from our wonderful day with Bob Baker. It was so much fun. Like I said, I do have a playlist for all of these layouts here on YouTube. I purchased this little patch and I love it. It's also from Bob Baker. This is a vintage book page, and you can find these doilies in my shop as well as these little tags. I'll link my Etsy shop below. This is a picture of Hannah with Diego. She loved the show. She had so much fun. She's so excited to go back to see the Halloween show. These are from the theater. Diego gave me them. They're like little clowns. So anyway, you can check out this is vintage fabric. You can check out this entire layout here on YouTube, but it's so colorful, and I think it's actually probably my favorite layout in this journal. So this just kind of carried over. It was a little bit of extras, and again, one of those little postcards, and those are some of the marionettes. Just some more journaling on that side, little book pages. I like saving my lists. I don't know, it just makes me happy looking back. This was something that I also got at the theater. It was just because I know Diego, I guess, but this was an old vintage, probably from the 80s, maybe the 90s, when Bob Baker used to make marionettes for Disneyland. Are you kidding me? This is gold. I would never cut that up, so I just made a little pocket, and I have it right here tucked into my journal. Nothing really is on there exciting. This is just some tags, or no, some receipts from shipping. This is from La Plaza in LA. This is just, I bought a whole bunch of something at an estate sale. So I saved them all the little tags, and I just stuck them on here. It was probably a bunch of ephemera or something. This is a vintage picture of a dog, and that's my beautiful Ellie, my reason for living, the smile on my face. That is my angel. Yes, I am a dog person. And yes, this dog in more than one ways has saved my life, and she makes me so happy, my Ellie. So you'll see a lot of pages to my sweet girl, Ellie. She deserves all the pages. This is just some washi tape stickers and a vintage book page. This was a lot more odds and ends. This was a washi tape swatch page. I really love washi tape swatch pages because they're easy and they're bright and they make me happy. This is definitely another one of my favorite layouts. It's so easy. It was so fun. It was all about my husband's birthday and how we went to some vintage shops. This is a vintage book page, and it was a lot of fun. And this was just some flowers. So you can find this in my Layout Inspo playlist here on YouTube as well. This was a hodgepodge page, but it made me so happy. It's Abby with Mickey and Minnie. I tell the story. I believe I told the story. I think I did a layout for this on YouTube. Yes, I did. So you can find all of this on YouTube. You could hear the backstory about Mickey and Minnie and Abby as a cheerleader, and see when I create this page and see it come to life here on YouTube. So it's all about vintage Disney. I did put some of our tickets in there. I made these little tabs out of an old paperback book, and this was Abby's old annual pass and another little photo pass card. You can't get those anymore, so I stuck them in my journal with some washi tape. So like I said, you can see this whole layout here on YouTube if you wanted a more detailed look at it. This is just a little bit of Disney goodness, some lace. You can still find some lace packs in my shop. This is just where I stuck them down. I loved the colors. And so this is a little envelope. I don't actually even know what's in there. Just a tag and a little code. And this little envelope was sent to me in some Happy Mail. So thank you so much. Happy Mail makes me so happy. I love that it's called Happy Mail. This was just a page that I put into the book. It's Dumbo. I usually always try to add Dumbo in my own personal journals because it's a very special movie to me. This was a page that I did some journaling on. It was just some daily journaling, but this fell out of a book that I got at an estate sale, and it was typed out in 1979. And they had this whole list of things on the back of different books and stuff. I just thought it was interesting, so I wanted to preserve it. So I just made this pocket out of an envelope, I think those were envelopes I used for a newsletter months and months ago. And so I just made an extra pocket. And I thought all the colors look so pretty with this vintage Snow White image from a book. This was a ticket. I think it was a raffle ticket that my husband had for work. I don't think he won anything, but he put the ticket there for me to save. So I just stuck it in that envelope. And this was just probably from something I bought. I don't even remember anymore. But this was in some stickers I bought. Somebody sent me that little envelope. I believe it was stickers. So, and this was a page I originally just sewed into the journal when I made it. It was a cover of a book that I had used. This whole page is just things I bought at a thrift store. I saved the tags, and rather than throw them away, I just stuck them into my journal. And this was from an antique store from some goodies I bought. It says a recipe box and a Donald Duck mug. So I guess that's what I bought. This was a Journal Prompt June page. I did some journaling on Lizzie's graduation. This was actually her high school graduation, not her college graduation, but I thought it was appropriate. And she got lots of scholarships and things because she is so super smart, and she is teaching now. I'm so proud of her. So she had given me this. It came with one of her scholarships. So I journaled about it and I just stuck it behind the picture. This is just funny. Abby is a runner, so she eats a lot of bananas. So whenever she eats one, sometimes she'll stick it on my desk because it's right next to the kitchen. And so I just saved a lot of her banana stickers. It's just funny. I don't know why. This was just from a collab. Abby used to do a lot of work with Disney and different people when she was younger and like in junior high. And so I just thought that was cute because it was a Monsters, Inc. theme and it had her name on there. So I kept it. This is just some scraps, clearly, receipts from things I'd shipped. This was not an old, but a picture from a journal I had made that I really loved. It was very different. I loved the vibe. And so I saved that page and put it into my own journal to remember. This is a whole different scholarship that Lizzie got. And so I had to iron it because it was a bit messed up. I guess she just had it in all her junk. And so I stuck it down in my journal and I put a picture of her and Abby. And then when she was cleaning out her room, because she had recently moved, she had found all this washi tape and she gave it to me, which was so nice. So I stuck it all into my journal as a washi tape swatch page. This is just some odds and ends, postcards, COVID shot stickers, tags from things I purchased at a thrift store. I showed this, I think, on TikTok. It was a color copy of some vintage fabric or no, handkerchiefs, I don't know. But I did it on TikTok. I showed a little hack, and so that was where I glued it in and did some journaling. And you'll see lots of tabs in my journal. I don't do them all at once. I actually do them kind of throughout my journaling process. And so usually what I'll do, especially like with fabric ones, is when I have a scrap, these are both fabric scraps, they're just laying around and they're a nice size. It's just not something I could throw away. I'll actually just trim it up and put it right into my journal, staple it in there. I don't sew it, but that way it actually makes my journal look pretty and I don't throw anything away because I don't like wasting at all. This is a big, pretty washi tape swatch, just some daily journaling and another nice big piece of fabric I did not want to throw out. That's a sticker somebody sent me, more of those tags. And this came in some mail from some stamps I purchased. These are more lists. I tend to keep my lists. I like lists. This was a vintage book page and I couldn't get rid of it because it reminded me so much of my foster dog. It looks so much like Duffy. Duffy looks like a lion. She's absolutely huge. Her paws are like this big. She's enormous. And so that made me think of her. Whenever I see that character, I save it. And just, it's so cute. These were just a bunch of odds and ends. And I made them all into tabs because I thought they were interesting. And this came out of a very old scrapbook from the 20s. It fell out and I couldn't get it back in, so I just put it into my own journal. That's also from a journal that I made with some daily journaling and some more paper dolls. And this is from La Plaza in LA. These were some more scraps. I love the kind of tactile feel by putting fabric scraps into your journal, and I made that into a tag. And this is one of my favorite pictures of me and my dog Ellie. So I journaled about it. This was on something that I purchased from Eliza Ryan Design. So rather than throw it away, I think they were earrings. I put a picture on there, and I had this little scrap that I turned into an envelope, and I just made it into a pocket for me and Ellie. This was another journal prompt June, I believe. Maybe not. I don't remember now. It could be just a layout. Maybe there's one on the Layout Inspo. I'll have to check before I post this. But it's more journaling, another fabric scrap, and then I made a pocket. This is actually wallpaper, and I made a little pocket. This is an image from Eliza Ryan Design and one of my favorite pictures of Hannah with the evil queen. Back when you could actually touch them and hug them. That was what was so different when we went to Disneyland yesterday, was not being able to like touch the characters. It was very weird. This is a gratitude page for my friends. We all have cats. And so this was an image that said, everybody wants to be a cat. And these are my friends. So I love them so much. This year has been insane, and I don't know how I would have gotten through it without all of my friends and my crazy cat lady friends. And so this was a page dedicated to those amazing, amazing people in my life, and they know who they are. And so this was a vintage book page actually that I just sort of colored in with like crayons, and I actually love the way that looks. I don't know if you can see, but anyway, and I did some journaling, and these were all just cat images. I love this page. This is one of my favorite pages too. This is just some journaling about plants. I love plants. This is another Journal Prompt June page. I have lots of house plants. I love taking care of my house plants. They're all enormous and beautiful, and I'll have to show them to you because I'm so proud of them and I love them so much. And this is a sticker. It says, "You are my soil mate." Somebody sent me that and I can't remember who. So if it was you, please, please, please comment below. This is another swatch page. It's very clear. I don't like to throw anything away. So if there's anything that kind of is left over after projects, I just stick them in my journal. I love doing that. This was also a scrap, and that little mini image was just so sweet. So if you're looking for those pastel doilies, they are still available in my Etsy shop as well. This was a page that I made about Abby's experience at summer camp. She went to 2 camps this summer, and she had so much fun. So this was the other one. And I made a pocket out of this little paper bag that I have. And that is her, because she's just as cute as she can be, at Hume Lake. And that is her and her best friend. They are just the best and the sweetest, and I love them so much. And this was a vintage book page that I loved. And I was so happy to make this page, and I was so happy that her experience was so amazing. I do believe I have a process video for this here on YouTube, so you could check that out in my playlist. I know I also have one for this. This is about Happy Mail and how grateful I am when I receive it. If you sent me either of these Happy Mails, please, please, please comment below so I can give you proper credit and thank you. And that goes for all the Happy Mail I've shown. If that is yours and you sent it, please comment below so I can add you to the description box. I need to speak more clearly. This is a big fabric pocket that I just stapled on. This was from a vintage Disney book, and that was the castle. I loved it. So that is more Happy Mail. This one is from France, which is so neat. Vintage playing card and journaling. This was a whole page about journaling. It's a sticker from Eliza Ryan Design. It says keep rolling. Just lots of journaling. More Happy Mail. Look at that beautiful penmanship. Again, if this is you, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to thank you and leave you in the description box as well. Look at those stamps. I actually think this one is from Henrietta, because that says Denmark, and I think that's Henrietta. This is a beautiful layout. It was one of the first that I did. I do have this in my playlist, I know for sure, here on YouTube if you'd like to see the journal inspiration. This is a beautiful velvety piece of scrap of fabric. I just stuck that beautiful picture of Hannah and Alice and the Mad Hatter. I did a little side loading pocket. This was from something I purchased. This was a Mother's Day card. The colors for this made me so happy. I love the vintage card. I don't know if I still have these turtles still in the shop, but I would definitely check it out if you were interested in vintage playing cards. I have a lot of vintage playing cards right now in my Etsy shop. So, and that is a vintage Snow White image. No, just kidding, Small World, a vintage Small World image. I'm getting all my Disney confused. So, and you'll see how I made this frame if you want to check it out in the layout inspiration. I have a whole tutorial for all of this here on YouTube. This is about my dog. This is just different things that they got. This was from one of our foster dogs, and lots of goodies, lots of scraps. And this was another journal prompt June page. I actually think this was a journal prompt June page also, but I turned it into a full layout, and it's all about my mom. And I love her so much. I miss her every day. That was a card from Magic Stitch & Co, I believe. So this is just a little bit about her. This was from a journal I made, and this was Snow White's mom. So this page is very special to me. She loved cats, so that's what this is. It's a little picture of kitties. So this is a very special page, and there is a tutorial here on YouTube for it as well. This is just a lot more journaling about my recent experience with Lizzie. And if you follow me on my stories, you know that she had a very traumatic experience. She was in the ICU for about a week, and it was a very difficult time for our family. But journaling about it helps. I saved these. This is when she finally started eating again. Sad that you get excited about those sort of things. It was all a fluid diet. But when she finally got to have food, I saved that because I was just so happy that she was finally getting to that place. And then this one was when she actually got to eat real soup with noodles in it even. So I saved those things because those were small victories, but very important victories. And this is actually some of her art. She has this tattooed on her arm, her original art. So that's very special to me. Sorry about moving the camera. This was just about my anniversary. I made this cute little tab. I think this was from our anniversary lunch. Just some cute stuff. This page was so fun to make. I don't even know how it came about, but it just ended up being a lot of fun. A lot of really cute little Disney stuff. I journaled about it. Kind of had like a jungle theme, which I didn't even really mean to do, but I love it. This just says memories. And then these are some parking tickets from Downtown Disney. And this is, oh, and there's some journaling there. And then this is a vintage Disneyland card with Mickey Mouse. It's just so cute. So that was a really fun page to make. These are my nephews. Crazy that they are, my little nuts, but they're adorable, with my daughter Lizzie when she went to visit them all in Austin. And this was one of my pen pal newsletters. So I just stuck it all down in there. That's a vintage book page. It looks so much like Lizzie. I guess I didn't do anything on here. I remember making this thinking I'd journal on there. Maybe I'll do an outgoing journal page. And then this is Duffy. This is our foster dog. She is a giant. So if you're looking for a giant breed dog, she's for you. Her name's Duffy. She is up for adoption through a purposeful rescue. And that's who we are. That's who we work with, and all the dogs that we foster. So this is just a pocket page. I don't know that I even have anything that exciting in there. Oh, there's some stickers and more lists and a card from Vicky's artwork. So that's really fun. A lot of cute little stuff. That's a fun pocket, and some mail from her as well. This is some art by Spooksy Boo, which is one of my favorites. These were some sample stamps from some stamps I had purchased. And this is from, oh my gosh, years ago now. It says Official Whale Watcher, Storybook Land Canal Boats. They gave Abby that, and it fell out of a purse or something when she was cleaning, so I just stuck it in my journal. That was from Disneyland. So yeah, these are all, the next few pages looks like they're just the stamp. I wanted to see how they looked when I stamped them, so that's what a lot of these are. So yeah, so you'll see these. This pumpkin one is probably my favorite. And then this is actually from playing cards, from vintage playing cards from Return to Oz. Return to Oz is one of my favorite movies. So I didn't want to throw it away, so I cut it out and just stuck it there next to the pumpkin because it reminded me of Jack, the character in Return to Oz. This is a purposeful rescue. They call their fosters, the dogs that we care for, magical unicorns. They had sent that in the mail with a little present. So I did some journaling about it, and that's a little dog, so it seemed appropriate to put it on there. Lots more journaling, lots more vintage goodies. That looks so much like Lizzie as a little girl. This is just some notes about what is this? Oh, like a class. I took a class with the Sill in LA. It's a plant store, a really neat plant store in LA. So I had taken an online class and those were just my notes. So I just stuck them in there in case I ever needed to remember or be refreshed. And this is just a bunch of scraps. Oh, that's an old picture of Hannah. So cute. More lists. So I just stuck it in there with some paper dolls, and I made a little pocket out of that old pattern back. I don't know. This is another page from Journal Prompt June, talking about my favorite animated film, and those animated films are definitely Sleeping Beauty and Snow White. So that was another Journal Prompt June, and that is some vintage wallpaper. Those are my dogs. That is my current, that's a screenshot of my current, like what's on my screensaver for my phone. So I love that so much. I had to put it on there. This was from some Happy Mail. And if that is you, please be sure to leave your name in the comment below so I can thank you. This was also sent to me in some Happy Mail. It's so beautiful. This image was just incredible. So I had to just stick it in my journal. It had to have its own page. Didn't want anything covering it. This is just more scraps, some odds and ends, some fabric. I even just stamped the word scraps at the top because there were so many scraps. I just can't, look at how cute these images are. I mean, that little tiny Jiminy Cricket, I didn't want to let any of that go. So this is a Journal Prompt June page as well. This was from a Little Women journal that I had made. I really loved that. And this is a picture of the new Little Women. And this is from a very old Little Women book. So that was really neat. And I do have a Layout Inspo page tutorial for this here on YouTube. You can find it. It's all about Abby and her first day of school. And I just made this little tag. I think I gave those away as freebies for a drop. It's a vintage card, and that's her on her first day. So, and these were tags from her first day of school outfit. So she was so sweet to drop them on my desk. And so I made them tabs for my page that I made about her. But again, you can find this whole layout on YouTube. This is a pocket page where I just kind of stick everything in. These are stickers from Eliza Ryan Design. This is from something I purchased at an event. This is from my newsletter. It was just the rough draft and more parking, you know, the tickets you get to pay when you park somewhere. I think those were from Downtown Disney. So. This layout I have under Layout Inspiration. It's a layout all about my best friends. We've been best friends since we were probably 15 years old. That's us when we were very young. We're probably about 17 there. And this is us now. So we go way back. So we get together every so often and just do lunch and drinks, and we love Mexican food, so chips and salsa. So this was all about our kind of a little bit of our experience. Our favorite ride was always Snow White at Disneyland, and there's a lot of significance in this apple. So if you know, you know. And if you'd like to see the tutorial for this entire layout, you can find that here on YouTube. And I talk a little bit more about the Snow White ride and why it's so special to us. So this is just about my very best friends that I feel so lucky to have in my life. And this is another Journal Prompt June about color palettes. And so I used this picture because I absolutely love that color palette. This is more odds and ends. I have things that float around my desk forever. This is when Lizzie danced with the Rockettes one summer, actually a few summers. She did it for 3 summers, I believe. And so just some odds and ends there. This was from some Happy Mail. And so there's just that in there. I think this came in something I purchased. I don't know, but it was cute. And this was a scrap, and I found this teeny tiny picture, very old, of me and my family. I mean, my kids are almost 16, 19, and 22 now. And in this picture, they're probably 3, 6, and 9. So it's a very old picture, but I thought that was cute to stick there. And I think we're at Universal Studios or something. And this is a swatch page actually for my new journal that I'll be doing a flip through for very soon. So this is a scrap from the spine, and I used this paint inside, and I made tabs out of the inside cover paper that I used. So this will probably make a little more sense when you see my new journal, but this was a whole swatch page for my very new personal journal coming. And I don't know if you could hear that, but that's literally my dog trying to break in to the room to see what I'm doing. So this is another print from Eliza Ryan Design. So I stuck it into my journal. This is some more, just some daily journaling. And this was another picture that I love that I just stuck in next to it. It was inspiring. This is a coaster from the Grand Californian Hotel and some more random Disneyland tickets and goodies from the hotel. We didn't stay there, but we did go to have a drink, so that was really fun, so I kept it. I do have this layout in my journal, my journal with me here on YouTube. I love it very much. It's all about Little Women. That's a flower, and you can hear all about this process and see me do it here on YouTube. This is just an envelope. I don't even know what's in here. Oh, another picture of my girls. So I can show you exactly how I made this if you check out the Layout Inspo playlist here on YouTube. This is the very last, these are the very last layouts actually that I made for this journal. So you can find this here in my playlist, my most recent journal with me's. It's a collab with Your Creative Studio, which I really love, and I definitely will be picking up another subscription box because I love it. It's all kind of a flashback couple layouts that I did for my daughter Lizzie when she was about 5 or 6 years old for her birthday. And when she met all the princesses and took her little autograph book and got all their signatures. So this was a really fun little layout to do, and it was really fun to collaborate with Your Creative Studio. So you can find those here on YouTube as well. These are just pocket pages that were in between. I have Happy Mail and some prints in there, some tags from things I purchased, and lots of goodies. I know this was sent to me in the mail, which was really sweet too. And that's about it for that. That's another part of that layout. This was a gratitude page for Happy Mail. Stacy sent me these, and she is just so kind and so supportive. I am so lucky to have connected with so many amazing people here on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Y'all are just the best, and I feel so lucky. This was just a tag from something Abby purchased at a thrift store. So this is actually the front side of the card that Stacy had sent to me, and it had a dog on it. And I am a dog person. And so this image I had purchased from Spooksy Boo in an event. And I don't know if you can tell, but it says, "I'm always with you," and there's a little ghost dog. So a few years ago, we had lost our sweet dog Dodger. And so that made me think of him. I think of him every day actually, but that's just a little bit of journaling about my boy. This was a great layout. It was a lot of fun to do. Nothing here belongs. A lot of my layouts are just very hodgepodge. I love to just save things. So this was a really cute picture of Lizzie and Miguel. They took Hannah to get ice cream at Baskin Robbins. So I had saved this bag. It wasn't even from when they went. It was from a different time. But I was able to use it because I thought it looked really cute. And this was all just from some Happy Mail. Someone had sent tags. This is also from some Happy Mail. It's just some really cute stickers that someone had sent me in an order that I had purchased. And then these are a picture of all my nephews and my kids in the pool, having a pool day. And I made a pocket out of an envelope. And there's a really pretty doily. And this was a card I purchased when I went to visit my sister in DC at a really neat local bookstore. And so I just did my journaling in there. And we're getting to the end. Can you believe it? This is just some journaling about a really fun day we'd spent with Diego, and a picture. No, this is a sticker they gave us from Big Bud Press. My daughter bought her school book bag there, and so they'd given us those stickers. And this was a Journal Prompt June page, again about my plants, which I love. And this was for a hanging rattan planter. It's not in the picture, but I saved it and put a different picture of my plants in there. And then this guest check was one that I upcycled, and I actually have a TikTok, I believe, about how to make one similar to this. And if you wanted to purchase guest checks, blank guest checks, you can find them in my Etsy shop. But I just talked about the day that I finished this journal so I would know the exact date. And that is it. That is my complete journal. It took forever to get through, so if you hung in there with me the entire time, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I have lots of videos here you can look if you wanted to see. Many of these pages I show absolute tutorials of, and so you can see the entire process. And if you wanted to emulate them in your own journal, you are free to do so. So thank you so much for watching. I will have a flip through of my next brand new personal journal that I'll be journaling in here on YouTube. And so please do me a favor, like this video, please leave a comment. It means so much to me. It helps my channel so much, and I'd be forever grateful. So thank you so much. Have a really good one, guys, okay? Bye.